Hello YouTube, this is Necrostevo and you're watching one of my narrated Wi-Fi battles. I hope that this video finds you all doing well, especially in light of it being Memorial Day. For those of you in the United States, you should be getting an extra day off of school or work or anything like that for recognizing the Civil War heroes and fallen heroes, just soldiers of the past who've been fighting for our country. Anyways though, if you don't have that off, I still have a battle for you today. Today's battle is one that I had against my friend Justin. Right before he graduated, this was kind of our last hurrah battle. And of course, I graduated too. And so I just kind of wanted to push out a battle for you guys today because my bar review has really been draining me. Like, you think you're done with classes, and then you just got one more thing to do. Anyways, though, this was an OU match. Kind of bring whatever you wanted. He starts off with his Azelf. I did not want him laying up stealth rocks. I didn't want him tricking me. I didn't want any of that to happen. So I just faked him out. He sets up Reflect, which I don't think I've ever seen none of his elves do. Which is interesting because his elf is actually pretty bulky. Now, I go for Return, not expecting him to set up Reflect. And he gets up his Stealth Rocks. So he set up a buffer for the next Pokemon and got up his Stealth Rocks. Darn it. I mean, I killed the Azelf, but he's sitting in a pretty good position here. He can bring in something on my Ambipom and be completely buffered from attacks. So he brings in Gengar, and I didn't want him to get off a free substitute, so I just stayed in and went for payback, knowing that he could just blast me with Focus Blast. But as long as the Reflect is up, I'm kind of at his mercy anyways. So even with the Reflect up, without getting the effect of payback doubled in damage, I'm able to break that substitute, and I'm trying to force him to knock me out here. Of course, this was in person, so I wasn't sure what his whole team was, and we were kind of bringing random stuff. Um, but I was kind of just stalling Reflect turns and trying to see what the full Gengar set was. Since Ambipom was knocked out, though, at this point the Reflect I think has one more turn left because I don't think he had a Light Clay on that Azuro. Azelf, excuse me, Azuro. I mean, they both start with A and Z, but they're both blue. I think that's where the similarity ends. Anyways, though, I go out into my Choice Scarf Hydreigon, and expecting him to go out into something to resist the obvious Dark Attack, I just U-turn. And that turns out to be really, really good because he goes out into Terrakion, so had I gone for the Dark Attack, he would have gotten that Justified boost. And you very rarely see the three Musketeer Pokemon get that Justified boost, and Lucario gets that ability too, as well as Arcanine, I believe. Um, but I'm able to go out into my Gliscor and pretty much wall him. Now I'm expecting him to switch out, expecting the Earthquake, and he switches into a Lantern, and I use Swords Dance expecting him to switch. Now I figured a stab attack. I'm not max attack. I'm actually pretty bulky for a Gliscor at least. This is a weird build I have, but I thought a +2 stab Earthquake would kill Lantern, and it doesn't even really come close. Lantern is a bulky mofo, and he kills me with an Ice Beam. So props for that Lantern survival. Lantern has a lot of HP. He has not one but two fluorescent light bulbs going on top of his head. If one of those goes out, he has the other one for a backup, and that's just what happened right here. Now, I didn't know what to expect from Lantern, but I did know that I could wall it with Ferrothorn, barring hidden power, fighting, or fire, which Lantern don't normally carry. And he goes out into his Magnezone, which, as long as I get my Stealth Rocks up, I don't really care about Magnezone because I have Choice Scarf Hydreigon. His Reflect finally wears off, and as you see from the number of turns that went by there, he probably did have Light Clay. And he goes for Hidden Power Fire, um, but that must have been Hidden Power Fighting, I think, actually, because Hidden Power Fire would have killed from a Magnezone, I believe. Um, and I didn't even try to switch out. It's actually a good idea to try to switch out if you can, because sometimes people carry Analytic Magnezone, which is an ability that powers up your special attack if you move last, and they know you won't try to switch out. And so he gets a few turns of Parahacks here, which, they... I do get up 2 extra layers of spikes, but in the long run, they don't... Those 2 turns of Parahacks aren't going to make a big deal of difference. And you'll see what I mean by that later. This actually ends up being a pretty close match, and as you guys know, I tend to pose pretty close matches whether I win or lose. I just like having good battles. So anyways, though, I bring in my Pikachu right here. Yes, I brought a Pikachu to an OU battle because I have bad ideas, I suppose. I don't really know. And I was expecting him to switch out, although I did not know what to. And so, expecting him to expect me to go for a Brick Break, I went for Thunderbolt. And I hit Gengar incoming. And that's fantastic, because that Gengar, I think I have like two Pokemon left at this point, and he outspeeds everything I have. And so he goes out into his Salamence, and I was wondering if I could psych him out or something. I didn't know. But I have my Choice Scarf Hydreigon left, and I really didn't want to be risky with that. Because it's kind of my ace in the hole. And he gets a critical hit Draco Meteor on Pikachu. Kind of unnecessary. Um, and I didn't even get a chance to use Extreme Speed, which was its event move. But he gets a Moxie Boost, and he has Life Orb. Here I go back on into my Hydreigon. Um, I knew he was Life Orb, so I knew I outsped him, and I was expecting him to switch again. And I just had to predict what he switched into. And so he switches into Magnezone, and I went for Flamethrower. So that worked out pretty well, I think. I made the right prediction there. Got the Magnezone down. If I had won with the Dragon move, of course, he would have resisted it, and I would have had to switch out. Um, Unfortunately, he still has Terrakion waiting in the wings, and as a Rock-type, Terrakion is going to resist fire quite nicely. And I can't really do much about that, so I have to get out of there, unfortunately. Fortunately, the entry hazard damage is really, really nice on Terrakion. So I'm able to go into Biocide, Wheezing, which incidentally pretty much walls Terrakion unless he gets a crit Stone Edge. And he actually goes for Rock Polish, which I was really happy to see that because I was afraid he would Swords Dance on my switch. Going for Rock Polish, as long as I burn him here, he shouldn't rather have enough attack power to KO my Hydreigon because I can burn him and then I can just Pain Split to get my HP back. That's all I needed to do. And so he Stone Edges, and then I miss my Will-O-Wisp, which was awful. If I had just hit that, then I would have been able to Pain Split this turn, and then finish him off. And then instead of me living, if you'll look at the damage the first one did, he gets a crit on the second one, and so now I have nothing for this Terrakion. My one physical wall on the team that pretty much countered it got smashed in hardcore by that Stone Edge. So we both thought that was actually pretty funny because that was exactly what he needed to seal the deal on this battle, and he got it. And sometimes you have hacks like that, and it's funny. Sometimes it's not so funny, but this was just a friendly match anyway. Justin's a pretty good rival of mine, and that's going to be the battle. So I hope you all enjoyed that. It came down to the wire there. I think only things that he had left were Salamence and a low HP Lantern that probably would have died to entry hazards on the way in. So had I been able to burn that Terrakion when I did, then not only would I have been able to whittle it down by stalling it out with Wheezing, it also would have forced him to switch around some more to kill Wheezing, thereby making it easier to Choice Scarf Hydreigon and clean up. So, that's something. I hope you all enjoyed that battle. Just a quick update on some things I have coming up as I am starting my some classes for bar review. How do you guys feel about me posting 3 or 4, or I guess 2 or 3 would be more realistic miniature battles from my Striaton challenge? If you all are interested in seeing those, just let me know. I saved a lot of them, and some interesting teams using that. It uses VGC rules, and I did not get a chance to go to the VGC this year because of my studies. So it was a nice substitute. But if that's something you all are interested in seeing, just let me know, and I'll get that on the channel. In the meantime, I hope you all have a great weekend / Memorial Day, and I will see you all later. Bye now.